Why, good morning, you beautiful souls, and to all you mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day. Now, this is an incredibly important satsang purely because of the topic, really awakening and empowering yourself with the divine feminine. For guys, full disclosure, your spiritual journey doesn't truly start until you awaken into your divine feminine energies. And for all the ladies out there, this is how you really amplify the growth of your spiritual development is by fully tapping into that in which you are. So go ahead and get those last few wiggles out. Get a nice little stretch in if you need to. And when you hear the first 3 taps of the bell, begin to shift your attention to the sound of the bowl as it rings. With each tap, take a nice deep inhale, filling yourself up with the prana, the chi, these vital forces all around you. With your exhale, transform it into an om. All internal phenomena to simply fade and come and go as they please. Shift your attention to yourself in this sense of awareness and presence. As I lovingly invite you into the realm of the heart, simply rest this morning. Simply be as you are. When you hear this final tap of the bell, shift your attention to the sound of the bowl as it rings and fades into silence. So too, shift your attention, this affection of our own gaze, towards the stillness within us and all around. The union of both dualities in our existence is of vast importance to master. For the divine feminine balances out the masculine and vice versa. Two sides of the same coin, yin and yang. We must come to recognize that this human experience matters not what sex you are. For each of us contain the divine. Every vessel of flesh is truly the divine embodied. And because we stem from source, we imbue both forces of creation and destruction, of flexibility and rigidity. We must come to understand that the divine feminine is our natural expression, rooted in the intuition, the nurturing, the protection, the patience. As children, we can see this. In our youth, we experience it. The loving care for others. But just as powerful as the divine feminine is, when out of control and out of sync within our own heart and beingness, chaos is inevitable. Our emotional connection, not only the ability to observe and recognize the sources of our emotions, but their manifestation out in our regular day life, is rooted in the feminine energies of this universe. It's in this very same understanding we can understand that an imbalance and ignorance of not knowing how to utilize and awaken our divine feminine can be destructive in our life. Ultimately, it enables us to tap into the highest forms of compassion, for we begin to care, not only of ourselves, but of others. We become masters of empathy and sympathy, for it's the nurturing and protective spirit of the mother that allows us to fully awaken this human potential. Earth, the planet itself, represents manifestation and creation, which is the divine feminine energy. Understand that the masculine is all about survival, destruction, and many other positive qualities that are necessary for this physical world. But it's the feminine energies that tap us into source. It keeps our spirit anchored. It allows us the space to recognize that we truly are the divine embodied. But as we age, we become attached to the form. We become distracted. And it's this understanding that separates us from life. We must come to see that everything in this experience is an opportunity to harmonize ourselves. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you release the exhale, allow all tension to drop away. For this too is an embodiment of the divine feminine, the ability to let go. For it is an act of caring for ourselves. Come to see everything in this experience through the lens of the divine feminine and see patience in all. For that too is an aspect of our feminine divinity. Many can recognize that there has been an imbalance in our world, catering overly to the masculine energies. And it's time to tip the scales within your own heart to bring yourself back to a harmonious state of being. For even here, we recognize that life isn't about being an extreme in one or the other, it is about balance. Do your emotions fuel themselves and run like a gas stove on high? Or are you able to adjust the flame when necessary? Are you caring and nurturing and protective of all, or just those close to you? Are you stuck in the logical mind, or are you being intuitive and true to the heart? There's an infinite amount of questions to ask ourselves, but the ultimate knowing is you are God and Goddess of manifestation and creation. In order to fully build and manifest everything you seek in this world, you must come to recognize that the divine feminine and a balance with the divine masculine are both vital Again, take a nice deep breath here, filling yourself up with love and light all around you. And as you exhale again, you release and let go of all tensions. Come to forgive yourself of everything. Forgive all that have wronged you of everything. Come to understand that this too is the divine feminine. Forgiveness does not mean that we allow the lessons to be overlooked, but it allows our heart to be free. Ultimately, both energies of this universe stem from love. When there is any doubt in which is being expressed, bring it back to this knowing that you are the light of love. You are unique. You truly are a beautiful soul. Look within your own experience. How can you harness the divine feminine more? Where is it out of sync in your own life and everyday function? And come to understand the many different attributes that it speaks to within your own heart. For when we come to understand ourselves and how we act upon these divine forces, we gain another piece of the puzzle in this great mystery called life. Take one last deep breath here. Again, filling yourself up with love and light as much as you can, till each and every cell is teeming with light and love. And as you release it, simply let go and be as you are, allowing each energy center to balance out its own divine feminine energies. Allowing your own love and nurturing to radiate from you. And come to recognize here that ultimately it is the gentle nature of the divine feminine that allows us to tap in to the strongest attributes of the human potential. For it is the intuition, it's the effortlessness of compassion that when turned on, recognized, and fully tapped in, we can build anything, we can create the world we all seek for ourselves and others. And it all stems from that selfless place. It's that softness that is required for us to really grow, not only as a species, but as individuals. It ends the rigid and stoic practices of entitlement and selfishness and allows us to awaken into a new realm of being, one based in union, one based in harmony, peace, and love. But what holds you back within your own experience from recognizing this, from living out these divine truths? Whether you be a man or a woman, it matters not. In this sense, Women have the natural intuitiveness to tap into their divine feminine, especially as mothers. For it is the lioness that protects the child with the fierceness based in love, but not aggression. And for men, it's really the rebalancing of our own hearts, for it stops this external search and requires us to go within. But even as children, we all experience this divine feminine, which is why the affection and love of a mother knows no bounds to the human heart. And when looking at the physical act of creation and bringing a life into this world, we must come to understand the great potential and spiritual power of each woman in this experience. For they are the creators of this world, this civilization. Without them, all falls. Just as both energies are necessary, the masculine forces are required for creation, but it's the feminine that builds, that has the endurance. The physicalities of both man and woman are but representations of what we are as beings, both offering a unique experience of love. And it's here too we recognize the union of the forces within our own hearts can create anything we seek in our heart. Know here that when you awaken and tap into both, and you fully harness your divine feminine energies, you will be a master builder and creator of every highest aspiration of your heart. For it's all original and stems from the energetic plane first, the intuition. Whatever you perceive in your unique window of awareness, however you build it in your mind, it ultimately will be expressed in this physicality. So again, look within your heart. What areas of this divine feminine energy do you lack? Is it the emotional control, the patience, the nurturing and caring? All of yourself or geared towards others? Is it the intuition and lack of listening and tapping in? Or is it the lack of expressing creative expressions of your heart? Are you unable to let go? Are you unwilling to relax? Are you not being honest with yourself? It matters not where you're at in your journey. The fact you are here listening means you have already begun your processing of balancing out your own divine feminine masculine energies. So awaken to the fullness, awaken to the strength of divine feminine within you. That is you. And that is each and every living being on this planet. Harmonize with our Mother Earth and fully tap into these powers of manifestation. Recreate yourself however your heart desires, and fully let go of the old to embrace the new and to build a better future for yourself in this entire world in which we all live. When you hear the next tap of the bell, take a nice deep breath with a big smile on your face. And as you draw in that love and light around you, visualize yourself shining radiantly, brilliantly like a star. And as you chant out your Om in the exhale, see yourself as that stone casting ripples out into the universe, calling for your ancestors, your guides, your guardians and masters to help you along this journey of awakening into your divine feminine powers, bringing a balance to your heart and allowing you and uplifting you to continue this journey of unfoldment. Namaste. I bow to the divine within you and thank you so much for joining me this morning. Don't forget to smash that like button. Um, but it's always really important to recognize that no matter what sex you are, the spirit, the soul, is comprised of both energies. Your journey, this life, is all about awakening and utilizing both. Push and pull, attract and repulsion. I should just say attraction and repulsion. You know, we live in a world of dualities, and if there is an imbalance, if there is only one expression of one or one dominates the other, consistently, then you're not capable of tapping into your full potential, bottom line. And as I started off in this satsang, it's important to recognize that for women, you are powerhouses when it comes to spirituality. This earth, this whole planet supports you in that sense from birth alone. It is a divine feminine planet. It has those creative, loving forces naturally imbued and radiating from it. And men, real talk, your journey of spirituality hasn't even started unless you tap into these. But ultimately, if you're on a spiritual path, you've already kind of stepped up and looked within and recognized things, listened to the intuition. So, but, as a man personally, I can't speak upon the experiences of the divine feminine because it's not what I'm experiencing. But as a man, I can speak on it in terms of um, it takes the feminine energies to fully utilize what we are and what this experience is. It helps us create, it helps us tap in even greater. And ultimately, as this process of unfoldment goes, it's just returning back to what we already were before we were even born. But it's those divine feminine energies of love and harmony that help us with that. And as children, again, we were closer to source than most in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that don't partake in that spiritual path. You just get further away from it. So the more you can recognize what we're like when we're babies, that's a perfect balance. Cry when you need something, express yourself, fight for what you want, a little bit more of the masculine, but caring, compassionate, nurturing, selfless. That's all the feminine energies. And it's beautiful how it's always expressed all over in our lives and the subtleties of things, but we constantly overlook them. But when you really tap into your intuition and awaken to this divine feminine energies, you get closer to source naturally because it helps you tap into your compassion. And that really is one of the greatest keys to the human heart. So I love you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there. And as always, may the fruit of knowledge offer a seed. And in that seed, may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment. For a tree shall grow, and in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all who ask. Namaste. I bow to the divine within you, and I love you so much. And happy Mother's Day to all of you moms out there, whether you be single in a partnership or whatever you're in. You know, it's truly a gift when mothers are tapped in with their spirituality and are developed in that sense, because not only can that simply change a generation, one child at a time, but it's going to start to spread those little sparks and embers throughout society as they age, because they're not going to get caught in the same traps. So if you're a mom and you're listening, I really thank you for the work that you're doing on this journey called life, because it's so important to raise children understanding where they came from. Yeah. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, share if you can. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. And have a great day. I love you so much. Peace.